Good morning and welcome to jackrabbittrader.com, where we teach you how to stop predicting and start reacting. My name is Steve, and in this video we're going to take a look at the stocks to watch for the upcoming week, which would be June 26th, 2017. First, let's take a quick look at the markets, and you can see here that we're looking at a 4-year weekly chart, and in this one we're looking at the S&P 500 futures, and you can see that it's just been a slow grind higher in the futures. We've had some breakouts, but really nothing as far as follow through. Gone through some consolidation, and you can see the past 3 weeks we've really just gone sideways. So we'll see how this plays out, if we're kind of losing steam at this point, or if we're looking to potentially continue higher. Trend line, in my opinion, is down here closer to this 2350 area, but we also have an accelerated trend like that, which would basically mean that we would break higher sooner than later. So we'll see how this reacts. I would say if we start breaking these lows here from last week and the week before, that most likely we're either headed back down, or we're looking for a longer period of consolidation, and that would take any further upside off the table. Looking at the NQ, which would be the NASDAQ, again, you can see if we take out this older trend line, again, another accelerated trend to the upside. You can see here that it looks like maybe we had this slight pullback. NASDAQ this week was strong, and again, I would use my pivot or my line in the sand here around this 5640 area. Again, staying above that could very well just mean some further consolidation, or it could mean another breakout. Right now it just means that we're not going below this level here, which again, as you can see, is right around that 5640. So it could very well be that we're just developing another consolidation. Dow, a similar situation. Again, get rid of this channel here, but it looks like we are moving up. Here is that longer term trend line. Okay, and then again, as I said, looking like we had just broken out, and you can see the Dow is a little bit stronger, right? We had where we did open higher and close lower this week, but we've had this move out of this weekly consolidation, and it has continued to move higher. So Dow looks to be the stronger of the three. And finally, the RUT, RUT, just in this big sloppy mess. But all in all, it does look like we're potentially getting this upside breakout that we've been looking for. And again, depending on how you really draw that trend line, it could very well mean that we're bouncing off of that trend line with some type of consolidation in this area. You could see maybe a breakout, a pullback to test, and now moving higher once again. So anything under this 1396, probably back into consolidation. Staying above that, maybe we start to move higher. So that's where the markets are at. Looking at the stocks to watch for this week, I have 9. So essentially my universe of stocks is the S&P 500. I have scans that I run that you can see all up and down this left side here, but my main one is trend bullish, and that is what I look at. So you can see here that takes the S&P 500, probably breaks it down into, I don't know, 60 or 70 stocks that I further go through manually. But really what we're looking for are breakouts from weekly consolidations, and that really is what frames my longer term trades, longer term investments. And I really use those weekly breakouts. And if you're interested in how I do that, you can definitely head on over to the website, sign up for the Jackrabbit Club, where I send out the exclusive email where I basically manage my real portfolio every week. Real investments, real trades, real money, and do it all in a way that we try and teach you how to identify and then develop your own process, your own identity as a trader. I show you what works for me. Hopefully that helps you learn how to figure out what works for you, and how much risk you're willing to take, what kind of trader you are. Are you an intraday trader, a weekly trader, so on and so forth. So with that said, we have 9 stocks. We'll go through them here. The first one, ABC, all right, Amerisource Bernstein. And the first thing I'm seeing in this is this downtrend, all right, that was broken. So you can see that we came up, hit, pulled back, came up, hit, pulled back, up, so on and so forth. So that trend is now over. And now it looks like maybe we're developing this slight uptrend where we have a new breakout to new highs, okay, on this week. All right, and that's what we're looking at there. Now, depending again on what type of trader you are, your stop, as in longer term trade, could be all the way down here at 81. Other options are having it back within the consolidation, so a pullback coming back, or the third could be your trend line. All right, so again, depending on how much risk and how you want to size your positions, I personally am one that likes to be in them, get in small. So my stop will be 81. Start with a small position and see if we can add to it as we proceed. But again, definitely head on over to jackrabbittrader.com, sign up for the Jackrabbit Club, and you can see exactly how I do that day in and day out. Now here for American Express, all right, same idea. Okay, we had this downtrend that came in, right? Came up, finally broke that downtrend. My mouse wants to click, there it goes. All right, now we have an uptrend in place. So there's that one. And now we could also look at potentially a uptrend more along those lines. Here again, looking at a consolidation and a stop in this area. All right, so you can see we actually broke out last week, but now I've continued that breakout finally to new highs on this run where we took out the wick highs from the candle back here in the middle of February, and now looking to move to new highs. So again, stop down here 75. Stop could be top of the box, which is in this 80 area, or you could also have the trend line. But for me, again, longer term, would like to be in that 75, 76. And we'll go over if we're going to add any of these trades or anything like that in the Jackrabbit Club to my portfolio. We're going to also go over how I'm managing existing trades, which I have, I think, 15 or 16 on at this time. But BEN, Franklin Resources, this was one that looked like it was in more of a breakout mode than it is now. This is one that we had on the list, but later in the day must have sold off more, finishing down 0.81% today, but red candle, but still in a breakout. So you could still look to add this with that initial stop down here around 40.44. All right, but really the way it looked earlier in the week, we had some nicer open body candles similar to what we see here and here, which really was triggering some strength. Looks like we sold off into strength late day Friday. CELG, another one. Okay, you can see that stop right around there of 113. Here's that consolidation. So strong move. I'm assuming most likely there was no earnings. I thought this was an earnings move. No earnings on CELG, but again, looking to continue moving higher. But right now, where it is, I would probably say this is a high risk entry, just because you have those highs, those all-time highs right here around 136. We're trading 134, so risk reward is a little skewed to the downside. So while it is a nice play, stop would have to be all the way down here for me, at least around 113. And with resistance right here, I would probably look to see if it would consolidate. Ideal situation here is it consolidates for another couple months in this range, then breaks out, then I can look to add it on that secondary breakout. DLR, this is one that has continued to move higher. Very, very small consolidation. All right, but again, having that nice uptrend in place for a potential trade with a stop below the lowest low of that consolidation, which is around 113. So you can see nice breakout there on the weekly. HOLX, HOLX. Okay, similar situation. Stop would be the lowest low, which is from this bar. All right, there's your consolidation. And here's your uptrend line. All right, so those are the three things that I really look for in all of these names, regardless, if it what time frame we're looking at. I really look for consolidations, breakouts, and identifying a stop that makes the most sense to me. And usually that is the lowest low of the consolidation. So you can see I draw my boxes, the lowest low and the highest high. All right, so it's a little off, but essentially I disregard the wicks typically with the weekly charts, and I really just look for the lowest low of the consolidation and the highest high, and that's really what defines the parameters of those. Here we have, let's see, clear drawing. All right, similar situation in WDC where we had this big long downtrend in place. Okay, that was finally broken. Now we have this big long uptrend in place. All right, you can see again, a couple points along the line are always good, better confirmation of that trend line. But here we'll zoom in and I'll show you exactly what I was saying with the consolidations. So the highest high is right here. Okay, and the lowest low, so let's start over this way. Okay, so you can see how it matches up right here. And then the lowest low of the consolidation is really dependent upon how you want to draw it. You could draw it in here at 85, but my assumption, just because of this low wick, would be the lowest low would be this small bar right here. So that would be where I would draw my stop. That would be where I go ahead and set my initial stop and size my position to if I were taking this trade. All right, you can see a nice breakout there. And for my weekly charts, I don't really look at resistance too much as far as my longer term trades. If it's a shorter term trade, I will. But everything based on this weekly, the whole intent is get in the trade, let it run, and see where it can run to. Okay, here you can see MSI. Looks like I already drawn it, so I'm not going to go ahead and draw it again, but have this uptrend in place. Again, if it's a little sloppy, draw it, zoom in, pull it down, and all of a sudden, for some reason, I don't know if it's just my eyes or just the way it works, is it becomes a lot clearer. So you can see, came up, pulled back at the trend line, came up, pulled back at the trend line, came up, pulled back at the trend line, and now breaking out again. So it's very possible that this is a channel. Okay, we could draw it like that, and then maybe we want to see what happens. But for right now, again, no predictions. We're just saying, hey, stock's breaking out, do with it what you will. But this is a nice strong breakout in MSI, and the stop would be for me around 80, yeah, just about 80. Also, you could also use the low from this 2-day pullback if you're a shorter term trader, 84.77. And last but not least, Corning GLW. And I think I might have it already set. Yep. And there you go in Corning. So you could see here that it was a previous consolidation that I identified. I had put a stop in. Now, if I was trading this, I would be moving that stop up to this new consolidation, potentially even adding to my position on this new breakout. And again, that's all stuff that I go over in the Jackrabbit Club. So if you want to get involved with that, it's free. All you need to do is go over to jackrabbittrader.com, enter your email address on the homepage, and you'll get all the future videos. So that's what I'm looking at for this coming week. Market's a little choppy, not a lot of names out there making moves, but right now we have, I think it's 9 or 10 names that you could potentially look at for making new trades next week, because now they're breaking out. So you could look at them to the long side, either from a longer term expectancy, or you can then use that weekly information and drill down a little further, take it to a daily chart and see what you have if you want to go for shorter term trades. For me, I like to alleviate the noise. I really just like looking at weekly charts. That's my process. That's my identity as a trader. I let those trades run, and I just try and take some money out of the market, with every trade. So if you want to see how I manage those trades, again, jackrabbitclub.com or jackrabbittrader.com. Sign up for the Jackrabbit Club, and we're heading over there now. So for all those that are on the email list, be on the lookout for an email coming shortly. Take care.